Recently, Marvel and Sony have been reaping the benefits of their most prized shared entity, Spider-Man, and the success he has brought them from their latest film, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Sony and Marvel will be releasing yet another film that will likely bring them a mountain of success, Morbius. The film's release date has recently been pushed back until April of 2022, but that did not stop them from releasing a trailer for the film. In today's video, we are going to be going over Easter eggs from the trailer that you may have missed, and what it could mean for the film and the future of Sony/Marvel. Don't go anywhere, because this is going to be a video you're not going to want to miss a second of. Also, I must warn anyone who has not seen Spider-Man: No Way Home that there will be spoilers, so please watch at your own risk. Spider-Man's a killer? In the trailer for Morbius, there is a shot in which you can see Dr. Michael Morbius, played by Jared Leto, running past a wall with some graffiti on it. The graffiti is a picture of Spider-Man and the word murderer painted across it. Now, I know everyone noticed that the painting was Spider-Man, but if you looked closer, the painting gave us some clues as to which version of Spider-Man it is. Obviously, we have seen three actors take up the mantle of the wall crawler in live action: Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all of whom wear significantly different suits. In the trailer, it is clear that the Spider-Man costume used in the graffiti art is the one from the Tobey Maguire films. Does this mean that Morbius takes place in the same universe as the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man franchise? The answer is actually most likely no. Thanks to what we learned in Spider-Man: No Way Home, we can deduce that it is probably not Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man, but rather Andrew Garfield's. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man confesses that after the death of Gwen Stacy, he stopped pulling his punches, most likely referencing that he began to murder the people he chased down. After all, if Spider-Man decided to throw hands with a regular person without softening the blow, a single punch from Spider-Man would certainly leave them dead. As for the suit on the wall being Tobey Maguire's and not Andrew Garfield's, I would chalk that up to editing. I think the editors wanted the fans to keep guessing as to which universe this film takes place in, as this is not the only hint the trailer gives us regarding the universe of this film. Morbius in the MCU. The trailer for Morbius gave hints to all three Spider-Man franchises possibly being the home of this film. Obviously, we saw the suit of Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man on a wall, which technically could mean it takes place in his universe, but we also saw a character from the MCU actually in the trailer. Obviously, this could mean nothing, because as we know from Spider-Man: No Way Home, the multiverse is open in Marvel, meaning that any Marvel film could technically count in the MCU now, because it takes place in a different universe. So when Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, appears in the Morbius trailer, it could mean one of two things. Scenario A, it is the very same Vulture from the MCU, the one who wreaked havoc on Peter Parker's high school life during Spider-Man: Homecoming, or it could be Scenario B. This is a different version of Adrian Toomes that has never once dealt with Spider-Man or has never even been the Vulture. The most likely of these scenarios is actually Scenario A, meaning this is the Vulture from the MCU. I say that because in the trailer, Toomes is in a prison jumpsuit, the same prison jumpsuit he was in at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming. If this were a version of Toomes in which he has not been the Vulture and has never fought Spider-Man, why would he be in prison? Now, you could just chalk this up to editing as well, and you could very well end up being right. Maybe the Toomes we see in this film is not wearing a jumpsuit, and the editors just made it seem like he will be, just to throw fans off the trail. But hilariously, this still is not the final hint as to what universe this film takes place in. The font tells all. In the Morbius trailer, there is a shot that seems rather meaningless, a shot that is meant to establish setting and nothing more. But if you look closer, it may be the most revealing shot of the entire trailer. The shot in question is a shot that sees the camera focus on the Oscorp building. It is no longer than 3 seconds and does not show a single character, but it may be the only scene that actually tells us which universe this film takes place in. I say this because the font in which Oscorp is written in is the same font used in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe. Now, this is significant because the only other franchise that even has an Oscorp in it is Tobey Maguire's, but the font is significantly different, meaning that this is most likely not his universe. Furthermore, Tom Holland's universe does not have an Oscorp at all, meaning that it is most likely not taking place in his universe. And not only is the font the same as the Andrew Garfield universe, but the all-glass building design is taken from the Andrew Garfield universe too, meaning that they most likely did not edit the entire building as well as the logo for the trailer, but they actually just included the shot as it is in the film, meaning that this could be our most concrete evidence as to which universe this film takes place in. But this is not the only building that turned out to be an Easter egg in the trailer, as there is still one more structure that caught our eye. Speaking of building fonts and skylines, along with a shot of the Oscorp building, we also get a shot of the entire New York skyline that happens to showcase a large black building with a glowing red sign on it. The sign reads Horizon. At first glance, this building may not look like much, but it is most likely much more important than you would think, as the Horizon building is a prominent player in the Spider-Man comic books. In the comics, Spider-Man frequently frequently visits the building in order to tinker with and create his version of the Iron Spider suit that we saw debut in the MCU at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. The Horizon building also serves as a detention facility for some of Spider-Man's foes, as the technology in the building allows for scientists to have work done on them, as many of them suffer from genetic diseases of mutations, not unlike Dr. Morbius. Additionally, the Horizon building served as the precursor for the building that brought along Spider-Man 2099, a futuristic version of Spider-Man. Could this be an indicator that we are getting more spider people in this universe? Possibly, but we still need to figure out which universe we are in before that happens. And yes, I know you thought we were done figuring out what universe this movie was in, but we aren't. The Easter eggs in this trailer were so dang confusing. We are confused. We are Venom is one of the coolest lines from the original Venom film starring Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock/Venom. But it is also repeated in the Morbius trailer, followed by Morbius saying, "Just kidding, I'm Dr. Michael Morbius." But the line from Venom is said pretty much verbatim by Morbius himself. Now this forces us to ask the question, why would Dr. Morbius have said this if he had no idea who Venom was? Well, obviously he wouldn't, which means that he must know who Venom is, which leads us to come to the inescapable conclusion that Morbius takes place in the same universe as Venom. The issue with that is that Venom is now a part of the MCU, that same way that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man are, meaning that he simultaneously belongs in the MCU while also belonging in his original universe that includes none of these characters. I know it is super hard to follow, but all of our questions will hopefully be answered when the film comes out later this year. And that's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. What did you think of the Morbius trailer? And which universe do you think the film is going to take place in? And what will it mean for the rest of the characters in Sony's Spider-Man universe? What other Easter eggs from the trailer did you notice that we didn't include in this video? Whatever you have to say, let us know in the comment section below. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. It's free to you, only takes a few clicks, and it goes a long way in helping out the channel. Thank you all again so much, and we will see you in the next video.